Hello, Professor Pryor. This is Fabio Hediger here. I'm here with Emma Petrillo, and I'm going to ask her a few questions about my idea. How often do you shop for clothes?
Like once a week.
Okay. Do you shop for clothes more online or in person?
Online.
Okay. How do you know what size you are for the different types of clothing, and do you use the sizing charts that they offer?
No, I don't use the sizing charts. I kind of just wing it.
So you kind of just guess?
Yes.
Okay. Based on the amount of shopping you do online, how often do you find yourself ordering something that does not fit exactly the way you'd like?
Often.
Often?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any particular type of clothing that you seem to find the hardest to shop for online because you can't physically try them on? Like shirts versus shorts or a dress or things of that nature?
Shorts.
Shorts? Okay. So basically the idea that we would have would be it would be a program that I would sell to different clothing companies, and on their website, you would be able to put in your height and weight and arm length and like waist size, chest size, things of that nature. And then you would use the camera on your laptop to you'd stand in front of it at the table and like hold your arms up, and it would digitize your body and create like an avatar for you online. And then it would do the same thing with all their products based on the specifications, and it would basically digitize the process of shopping for clothes online. So if you were looking at a shirt and you clicked on large, you'd see how the large would fit on your body type and your size, or what the small would look like, or the medium, and things of that nature. So, do you have any questions or concerns about the service that I would be offering?
No, I like it.
Do you think it would work?
Yes.
Okay. What would be the biggest roadblock for getting this to the market, do you think? Like, for me?
Probably price. Price of it would be expensive.
Would what would you be willing to pay for it? Like, as if you as a consumer had to pay for it,
Like a one-time use.
yeah, maybe, or if it's like a monthly subscription or something like that, like kind of how like Netflix is, but you'd be able to use it on all of your online shopping.
I pay like 15 a month.
15 a month? Okay. Can you think of any other uses for the service outside the clothing industry? Maybe like um, like they scan your body at for the TSA, like while you're or while you're traveling or anything like that.
Yeah, maybe like weight loss programs. See like your progress.
Okay, that's cool. Um, what would be the biggest benefit of this service for you as a consumer?
Saving money by not having to return stuff, like by shipping and stuff.
Is it generally, do the customers usually have to pay for return shipping?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think clothing companies would be willing to adopt this service?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because it would save them money in the long
Okay. Um, do you think it would be easier for me to offer this service straight to the customer or try to sell it through the company? Like,
run. I think
base.
probably the customer.
So you think it would be easier to me, like, for me to kind of brand this as like an app or something like that online, or like a service that my company would offer?
Yeah, probably like an app because we'd be more willing.
Would it deter you to use it if you had to go through the process every time, once, like, for different companies? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't. You'd still use it.
Yeah, if it was worth it.
Okay. Um, why do you think this idea could be beneficial to the shopping experience?
Um, because you save time and money, and you don't have to worry about like the anxiety of if it's gonna fit or not, especially if you have like a deadline of when you need to be wearing this.
Do you have any specific times in your life where this would have been beneficial?
Yeah, like I have a date function and I need a dress, and I'm not sure if it's gonna come in on time. And when it does come in, I don't know if it's gonna fit properly without me having to get it altered. So this would take away that stress.
Okay. Uh, what else could I add to the idea to make it more useful for the shopper?
Um, Maybe like notes, like if the little avatar told you like this would not flatter you well, or like I would go up a size.
Like maybe like putting in like preferences.
Yeah,
Like some people like wearing tighter clothes versus more
baggy or
loose fitting or
yeah,
comfortable.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um, do you see anything like maybe for head garments or hats or anything like that, or maybe using this for shoe size or things like that?
Yeah, shoe size, especially because like Adidas runs really big, and
Yeah.
you get too big of stuff when you don't know. It's kind of a pain.
Okay. Um, do you think this is something that every clothing company should offer within the next 2 to 5 years?
Yeah, for sure.
And why?
Because it'll save time and money, and it's beneficial to the consumer.
um, would you would you be using this right now if it could be
Yes.
offered?
Yes.
Okay. Why do you think they haven't offered something like this?
I haven't thought of it.
Or do you think they maybe enjoy or they take their chances on consumers not returning their products regardless if they fit or not?
Yeah.
Because like after it's bought,
because it's such a pain.
they
to
don't
send
really
it back.
yeah, they don't really care if it fits you or not.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, at some point they do because they're building a brand and they want you to wear their things, but at the bottom line, if you've already bought it,
They
it's
don't
kind of
really
already
care.
sold. Yeah. Um is there any other questions or concerns that you think I would run into down the road using this product, or how do you think I could evolve it to the next step? Because right now, if I would offer this, then maybe 2 years later, it would be kind of like an obsolete technology. Like everybody would be using it. It would kind of just be the normal. How do you think I would be able to withstand those changes, like as a company, long term?
Well, no one else would really change this. Like, this is obviously needed, and like, no one's gonna not want their body measured for the specifications of a product. Like, obviously, no one's gonna not want to have their clothes fit right. So, I don't. This is definitely gonna, if it were to be successful, stay around for a long time and just become an everyday process with online shopping.
Okay. Do you think I would run into problems with um, not just people, but I guess the younger crowd or older crowd in general, just people in general, run when they have to stand in front of the camera to like digitize their body to scan it? They're more than likely gonna have to be wearing just underwear and a bra. Do you think that would
I don't think
kind
it,
of deter customers away from the product?
I don't think so. If it automatically turns into an avatar, if it's your face on it, no one's really gonna want to looking at their bodies like naked with a bra and underwear, especially if they have insecurities about like their body shape and stuff.
Okay. Um, do you think I'd run into problems because I would have to digitize every single piece of clothing that the company would offer? Do you think at some point it would be too expensive to do that for these companies? Or because I know trends and things like that come rather quickly. Do you think as me as a company would it cost me too much to always update their new products and things like that?
Honestly, probably be a lot of money. But if like the profit is worth it, it just depends on like the profit you're getting from like what you're putting in.
So maybe I should find like the profit per product item or something like that.
Yeah,
Try to do some or run some numbers to figure that out.
yeah, for sure.
Okay. What website do you think specifically would be good at this? Because I could take different routes and I could use it on like Amazon or eBay or things like that, or I could go directly to like different stores like Abercrombie or whatever.
Probably like Toby. It's one of the most shopped stores for like girls my age, the 20-year-old market. And stuff from there always fits like very odd, but it's always so cute, so everyone buys it, but you're never really sure what you're gonna get. So
Okay. How do you spell that? Toby?
Tobi.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, thank you, Emma.
You're welcome.
Hello, we're here for our second interview with Kate. Kate, how often do you shop for clothes?
I look at outfits or clothes on my computer pretty much every day. I actually just bought a skirt today.
Would you do you shop more online or in person, would you say?
Definitely online.
Okay. How often do you, or well, how do you know what size you are for different clothing types? Like, do they have sizing charts on their website, or do you just kind of guess? How does that work?
Well, like they have sizing charts, but they're not always like accurate. Like I got my black like a dress the other day, and it came in and it was still too big, even though the dimensions were what they said that would fit me, but it wasn't true.
Okay. How often does something like that happen to you, do you think? Like, if you could say, like, a percentage wise, how often do you buy something and once it gets delivered, you realize that it doesn't really fit the way you'd want it to?
Probably like 40 to 50% of the time. It depends what it is. Like it's usually dresses and like pants that are harder to like fit.
Okay. um, so basically, the idea that I had come up with is a software that we would use to sell to different clothing companies. And the first part of it would be that these clothing companies would either use some sort of camera system or kind of just putting the dimensions of each size of clothing into the software and it'll digitize the clothes for them. And then the second part would be what the consumer would do, and they would put in their height and weight and arm length and waist size and chest size and neck diameter and everything like that. And the last step would be to input all of that and then stand in front of your camera and have the camera um, scan your body, and it would create a lifelike avatar that you could use on the website. And whenever you would add clothing from from the online store, you would add it to your cart, and you can put the different clothing on your avatar, and you could see like what a small would look like relative to a large or a medium or an extra large or anything like that. And you can set different preferences on the app, like if you generally like your shirts tight fitting, then you can say that, and your avatar will understand that the small would probably be the best fit because you like it a little more tight than a medium, etc. Do you have any questions or concerns about what that would be offering? Like, do you have any questions or concerns?
No, I think it would be really cool. Actually, I would use it.
Okay. What do you think would be my biggest roadblock to like getting this to the market?
I don't know, like probably people's concerns about like the computers and like systems scanning their body because there's like a lot of hackers.
Yeah, that was one of my biggest concerns. Do you think it would be hard to get um, consumers or people to scan their body? Because to get an accurate scan, you'd probably have to wear just really tight fitting clothing, like an Under Armour type shirt or something, or like yoga pants. Do you think that would deter anybody from using the software?
No, I would definitely do it. Like I would do it in like a tank top and yoga pants.
Okay. Um, can you think of any other uses for this, maybe outside of the clothing industry? Like looking at the idea at its roots, kind of like a body scanner or the way you digitize clothing or anything, maybe like in the gaming industry or for security issues or anything like that?
Yeah, like well, the technology like used to do that is obviously like really, um, you know, very I don't know what the word is, but like I guess like for gaming systems and like if like athletes like wanted to like I don't know like scan their bodies and like if like they want to like build muscle or like lose weight in some places they could like do that too.
Hmm. Okay. What do you think would be the biggest benefit of this service as a consumer?
It would definitely like I know it would honestly probably save me money because there have been so many times where like I buy things and like they don't fit, but I just like never feel like returning them, and then I lose money, and it just
Hmm.
like makes me like not want to buy things from this website anymore.
Hmm.
So definitely. So like after like if like I were to know and like it would like it obviously would like reduce the chances of like
Hmm.
everything not fitting me. So
Do you think the clothing companies would be willing to adopt something like this? Because, like you just mentioned, for you, it's hard for you to return items that are too big or too small or whatever. But looking at it from their point of view, that doesn't really matter to them whether you wear it or not because you already bought it and paid for it. So do you think maybe they wouldn't adopt this idea, or maybe they would want to just for building a better brand and kind of having a better customer base?
I think that companies would because I know I I shop online a lot like I love to, but like my sister, she has like a different body type than me, and like she has like a lot harder of time like finding things online like when they come in like they don't fit her as well, and like
Hmm.
and I know like people with like everyone has different body types, and so like online shopping like doesn't work for them. So like I think that would definitely benefit like online stores because um, it would draw more people to their websites.
Cool. Um, do you think it would be easier for me to offer this straight to the consumer or kind of sell it through the company? So basically, what I'm asking is that like, would it be would it be more appealing to the customer if they kind of signed up for like a subscription, say like as if it was a Netflix account or something, and they pay a monthly fee and they would use it on every website? Or do you think I would have a more success selling it to specific clothing companies to give them like an advantage for online shopping?
I think that you would have more success selling it to different clothing companies just because like you don't know what like it's not like you can contact like every single website and like
Hmm.
make sure it's like it's okay for
Yeah,
like them
yeah.
to like put avatars like on their websites, and so like and I bet like they would have to like modify their whole website in like order for you to do that. So I think it'd be easier for you to go through the websites because they have like more money, and if like they really want to like they'll make
Hmm.
it happen, you know.
And what if this was something that you would have to pay for, like if it was a service that, say, I don't know, Abercrombie or whatever website offers it online, but they say it's at a $5 charge or a $10 charge on top of whatever products you buy. Would you be like at what price would you consider this?
It honestly depends what it is. Like if it's like a formal dress or like something like important that like I need,
Hmm.
I would be willing to pay like $5 for it or like
Hmm.
even maybe even more.
Hmm.
But if it's like just like simple like like shirts that like I like that aren't like that important that like I know will probably end up fitting me, like I
Hmm.
wouldn't be willing to pay for it.
Okay. Um, what else do you think I could add to the product and service that would make it more useful for the shopper? If you can think of anything off the top of your head.
Um, I
Maybe
guess
like something, if I could add like a scan of your head or your feet or something, and you could use it for like hats and shoes or anything like that. Would you
yeah,
see that
definitely.
work? Or
I think it would be cool if like you um like were able to like scan like your feet and like because like I know especially girls like they look different like when they have heels
Mhm.
on like versus when not, and like how like things like it's like how like short like a dress is like when there's like when there's heels on, like people like want to know that. So I think it'd be cool if like you could incorporate that.
Okay. Um, and do you think this is something that like every clothing company will eventually adopt, like on their website for
Yeah,
online
is
shopping?
that like the big ones? I could definitely see them doing it.
What do you mean by that? Like
Like,
what type of clothing companies?
like I know, like Forever 21 is like a huge, like they have a huge online store, and like Revolve and like Nasty Gal, like
Hmm.
their whole like they don't even have like stores, like actual stores, like they're all online. So I think that it would benefit them a lot more if they were to have that, because so people can like actually like see.
Hmm. All right. Thanks, Kate.
You're welcome.
Hello, we're here for our third interview on the opportunity that I have presented. Can you state your name, please?
Lauren Garcia.
Thank you. How often do you shop for clothes, Lauren?
I shop for clothes online or in person.
Just at any time.
Probably once a week or once every other week.
Do you shop mostly online or in person? If you could give like a percentage of your time. Should say it's like 50-50
Yeah,
or
I'd say it's about 50-50.
okay. When you are shopping for clothes online, how do you know what size you are in different clothing types? Because if you're tall and skinny or short and stocky, it's different based on your size and length and everything like that. So how do you shop for clothing online?
When I shop for clothing online, usually I will check first the size charts, and I'll like see where my measurements are, and then I'll kind of compare it to the sizes. And then I also will look at the reviews, because sometimes it won't say in the description of the product if it runs like half a size too small or like one size too big, but the reviews do show that usually.
Okay. Um, how often do you find yourself buying something online and having it shipped to you and you realizing that it's too big or too small or loose fitting or tight or it just doesn't fit the way you thought it was going to?
I'd probably say maybe like one every 3 or 4 purchases.
Okay.
For example, my birthday was this past weekend, and I asked for this jean skirt, and it wasn't in stores, so my mom had to order it online for me. And it finally came in, and online it had all the right measurements for me for it to fit perfectly. And then when I tried it on, it was extremely baggy and too long on me.
Okay. Is there? I know you just said that that was a skirt. Do you find yourself having this issue with any particular clothing type,
Yes.
like over and over again, or is it usually skirts that are you have trouble fitting in, or is it kind of any type of clothing?
It's definitely any type of clothing. I had a pair of shoes that I wanted, and I ordered them 2 Christmases ago, and it took me 4 times to get the size right. That's a lot of times to try for a pair of shoes, but I wanted them so badly, and they were customized, but they were Nike shoes, and they just kept getting the sizes wrong, and it was really, really, really frustrating.
Okay. So the idea that I have is creating a type of software that would measure their inventory, like all of their clothing types, their skirts, their shirts, their whatever, and creating kind of a digitized form of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it would take like the product specifications and create kind of like a video game version of the clothing type. And then after that, the user would, or the customer would be able to input everything about them. Like they would put their height, their weight, their chest size, their waist size, their length of their arms, etc. And the last step would be standing in front of your camera on your laptop
Yeah.
or on your cell phone and scanning your body to make a very realistic avatar that would be on the websites. And then when you have this avatar on the websites, depending on what you put in the cart that you plan on shopping for, you could throw, like, say you just bought a shirt and you need to see if you're either going to be a size small or medium. You can pick the size and throw it on your avatar, and it would show it. It would show it, and it would kind of, your avatar would maybe even say like a comment like, "Oh, this is way too tight. I feel like I'm being strangled, or if it's too big, like the avatar would kind of pull on it, and it would be very interactive and customer friendly the way the app would work. So you'd get the feel of exactly how the clothes are going to fit before you actually purchase them, is basically the end goal. And do you have any questions or concerns about that product? Maybe something that stood out to you on how it's used or how it could be
You
better?
said it was an app.
Um, it would. My goal would be to sell it through the companies,
Uh-huh.
so they would just offer it on their websites. But it wouldn't be an app per se.
Yeah, that'd be nice. As long as it's easily accessible, I think it can be extremely successful.
Okay. What do you think my biggest roadblock would be to getting this to the market?
Maybe having like our society adapt to it because it is new and we aren't exactly comfortable with all that. Like, I guess we just don't have anything exactly like that. So,
Hmm.
but I think it's a really cool idea, and if it's easy to use, then it could for sure be.
Do you think do you think I would have trouble getting customers to use the photo scan portion of it? Because I mean, it would be easiest just to take a picture of yourself
Yeah.
and submit it, and you'd have your avatar. But to get a really realistic scan, you'd probably have to wear some type of skin tight clothing, or for men, they would wear probably just underwear, no shirt or socks or anything like that. Do you think that would be a concern for women or men, kind of exposing themselves, not really naked, but in a unflattering manner? You know what
Yeah,
I'm
I
trying
don't,
to say?
I don't see it. I mean, and it's because in our society, it's definitely changing into a very, I guess, technological friendly. Um, so with that, the industry with clothing is definitely switching to a lot more online. So those who online shop a lot will find this extremely helpful,
Hmm.
and it'll save them a lot of time and energy and money probably shipping all these clothes back to these stores.
Hmm.
So if it takes them a few minutes to take a few different angles or get their body scanned, I don't think it should be that hard.
Okay. Um, can you see any other uses for this outside of just the clothing industry?
Um, it would be neat if eventually you teamed up with other companies, like say for example, like this scanning could like um maybe even detect like diseases or something. I don't know.
That's true. Um, do you think it would be
Oh,
hard?
oh,
Oh,
it'd be cool if you could scan somebody and it would be almost like you'd have people on the other side of the computer screen or whatever, and they
hmm.
could like be like almost personal stylists. Like, oh, you should do this with your hair. Like, oh, you should change this or
Oh,
this.
okay.
That could be cool.
Do you think clothing companies would be willing to adopt this service? Because for them right now, it's it wouldn't really. I don't know if it would give them more sales, but like if you buy something off their website and it doesn't fit right
Mm-hmm.
and you don't return it, they don't really care because they already got your
Profit,
sale.
yeah.
They already got their profit. So why would they care if it fits right or not on
Well,
you?
it's probably those companies that actually want to do the right thing and like they want to have really happy customers that would care to have this, but also those companies who like get a lot of returns, and that can be extremely frustrating that they would actually want to invest in doing this.
Okay. Um, if it was something that the consumer would have to purchase during their shopping experience, at what price do you think it could be considered? Like, say you were shopping on Amazon and they offered this to you for 5, 10, $15, etc., and it was just a one-time purchase, and you could use it on Amazon's website forever.
Forever.
Yeah, how much would you be willing to pay for something like that?
um 10 to 20.
Okay. Um, if what else do you think I could add to this idea to make it more useful for the shopper?
One thing I think would be cool is that, say you do want this shirt or this skirt or jeans, and this
Mhm.
website that you are on, then you love the style of that product, and it say it's too small or it's too large and your right size is not in stock. You should have like options below that are very very similar and links to, say, another website or to like another product that's similar on that same website.
Okay. Um, and do you think this is something that every clothing company is going to be using within the next 2 to 5 years, or do you think this is more of a long term
I could definitely
problem?
see a lot of companies investing in this. Yeah, in the near future.
Okay. Thank you, Lauren.
You're welcome.
Hello, I'm here for my fourth interview with William. How often do you shop for clothes, William?
Sometimes I go about twice a week to look for clothes, but usually I wait about 3 weeks to 4 weeks just to save money for other things.
Okay. Do you shop for clothes more online or in person?
I tend to shop for clothes in person because I find that if you look at clothes in person, you like it more than you do online.
Okay. Um, how do you know what size you are for different clothing types when shopping online, if you do?
What I do is I look at a shirt or pants, and based on the picture, sometimes they look looser than they do tight, so that's when I know.
Do you find success in doing that? Like, how often do you order things online just to find out that they don't fit right or they don't really like fit the way you thought they were going to?
Well, if that happens and I end up getting a size that is wrong, I end up sending it back and order a different size.
Do you find that process to be kind of tedious and annoying that you have to always return the item and
I do think that that is kind of annoying because websites should do a better job of displaying the type of shirt or pant size that they're
mhm.
selling, because if you buy it, then it's a long process to return.
Okay. And do you find that there's any particular items that are always labeled, or not labeled wrong, but kind of their sizing is usually always off based on your
Um,
experiences?
I haven't had that many problems, but one time I did order a shirt and I thought it was going to be my size, but it ended up being a lot smaller than expected.
Okay. Um, so basically, the idea I have would be to create a software that could be sold um, to clothing companies, and they would use it to digitize their shirts and pants and any type of clothing that they offer. And the second part of the product would be for the user. They would be able to put in their height and weight and like arm length and neck diameter and waist size and anything that they use to shop. And the last step would be using your camera on your computer to scan your body, and then it would create like a lifelike avatar that you could have on your screen. So whenever you would add products to your cart, you would be able to switch between like small and medium, and you can throw them on your avatar and see exactly how it would fit and how it would work. And the avatar could have certain like preferences. Like if you usually like tight shirts or tight pants or loose shirts or loose pants, the avatar would kind of give you some feedback based on the clothing that you were putting on them. So, for example, if you usually wear tight fitting shirts and you're generally a medium and you'd select the medium shirt and you'd put on the avatar, he could say, "Oh, it fits okay, but it's not as tight as I'd usually like," or something like that. It would kind of give you a feedback. So, that's the general idea of what I would be offering. Do you have any questions or concerns about the service?
I think that that service is a great idea because it's another way for people to find out what they're buying is going to fit them well instead of waiting and then being disappointed and having to return it.
Okay. What do you think would be my biggest roadblock to getting this to the market?
I think your biggest roadblock would be the type of technology you use for the avatars and making sure it's pretty accurate with each person that you create.
Okay. Do you think there would be any other uses of this technology kind of outside the clothing industry? Maybe, I don't know, gaming or.
You could definitely use it for gaming or cosmetic surgery with before and after or some
Okay.
type of business along those lines.
Okay. And what do you think is like the biggest benefit of using this service
The
as a consumer?
the biggest benefit I think would be saving a lot of time and getting a more realistic view of what you're going to look like instead of waiting and not being happy with the end result.
Do you think it would be easier for me to offer this straight to the consumer, like maybe through a certain app or anything like that? Or do you think it would be better to just sell to the company directly and then have them offer it on their websites?
I definitely think it'd be a smarter idea to sell to a company and have them display it for their customers because that is definitely a way for customers to recognize your business better instead
Mhm.
of selling it on an app so they know how exactly it works.
um, and if it was something that, for example, like Amazon.com, if they were to start using this and they offered it at a certain price, what would be kind of your price range for something like this? If it was a, say, just a one-time cost and you could use it on their website for, like, it would just be a part of your account after that.
I think a good price for that type of app would be to start off with a deal. You start for free, and then if you end up liking it, maybe charge $10 a
Hmm.
month.
Okay. And what else do you think I could offer on on the um in the service that could be more beneficial to the shopper?
I think that if you were to start this business and someone were to download it, maybe they could get a discount off with the store. So the store gets business and so do you.
Okay. So kind of use it as like a marketing tool
Promotion,
almost.
yeah.
Okay. Um what with considering the roadblocks again, we're gonna to get a realistic scan of your body, you'd probably have to wear something skin tight or no shirt at all or anything like that. Do you think that would be a deterrent to customers using
It
this product?
I think that depending on the customer, some are less confident than others and some might disagree, but you can offer them other options as to how to get their certain avatar shape.
Okay. Do you think it would be discouraging to some people after they see their avatar made? Like, what if the avatar isn't? What if it's almost too realistic and they have self-conscious issues with that? Do you think that could be a problem?
I don't think it would be the company's problem. I think it would be that certain person's problem themselves.
Okay.
But you could always think of different business tactics instead of just like, I don't know, scanning them and for them to see exactly how they look like
Mhm.
because I mean, it's a pretty accurate way of how they look, but it's not exactly how they look.
Okay. And when creating the avatar, do you think it would be in my best interest or worst interest to make it very realistic? Like, should I add different races and ethnicities to this, or should I try to make it almost like like an almost like a avatar, like just like a standard blue person or anything like that to keep things like in the level playing field
I
area?
think that you should be able to give the option of picking different races just to get a more realistic look, but don't
Hmm.
make a lot of different skin colors and stuff like that just so it won't be like offending to some people. Just make like a broad choice of like four different colors.
Okay. And um with that being said, do you think this is an idea that companies would like to use relatively soon, maybe in the next few years, or do you think that they don't see an issue with their sales and they'll kind of put off this technology until it's necessary?
I definitely could see this becoming realistic in the next couple of years. I think companies are starting to look for other ways to get their products sold. I definitely think that this could help businesses with online shopping and could definitely make their sales grow a lot faster.
Okay. And as a company, do you think they would be willing to adopt this? Because right now, if you other than returns, if they sell you like a shirt and it doesn't fit right, but you decide not to go through the hassle of returning it, then on their end they don't really care because they already collected the profits. So, do you think that type of aspect would deter companies from using it, or do you think they would want to create a better shopping experience for the consumer?
I definitely think that they would want to create a better shopping experience for their consumer because they don't want to leave customers left unhappy.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. All right, I'm here for my fifth interview with KP. KP, can I ask you a few questions?
Yes.
How often do you shop for clothing?
I actually just got back from the store right now. I've just been shopping, so quite often.
Okay. Do you shop for clothes more online or in person?
I like to shop in person, but I have shopped online before.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you a few ideas about online shopping. How do you know what size you are for different type of clothing, like shopping online? Do you use the sizing chart, or do you try to compare yourself to the models in the picture? How do you usually get around that?
I usually just order a small because I don't know, that's just typically my size, but sometimes it comes in and it's too small or too big, and then I'm like, no. I kind of looked at the measurements, so I've never like actually taken the time to like measure myself, so I don't know if it really it's like true to size.
Okay. And based on the amount of shopping you do online, how often do you find yourself ordering something that doesn't really fit exactly? Like you can give like a percentage, like based on every 10 things you buy online, how many show up and don't fit the exact same way that you thought they would?
I would say like 6 or 7 out of 10 times like it comes in, it doesn't fit right. But like personally, I like shopping in real stores because of that reason. Like I'm one of those people that just really like buy like shop things for the fit, like and being
Okay.
comfortable rather than like, oh, it's really cute, I'm gonna try and like make
Hmm.
it work.
Is there any particular type of clothing that you seem is, or you find to seem that is like the hardest to shop for online? Like, is it shirts or skirts or dresses or anything like that that you've seen a trend in that always comes misfitted?
I would say probably like pants, like jeans specifically. Like usually I'm like a 26, but that like is it too tight? Like you don't know the stretchiness or
Hmm.
anything. And also I would say like bathing suits. I know that's random, but I like
Hmm.
shop for bathing suits mainly online, and those come in like I just went shopping recently, and I have like a medium in one size, and then like an extra small in the other, and
Hmm.
so it's very.
Okay. So basically, the idea that I would be creating would be a software to sell to companies that they could use to digitize all their products that they offer, like their dresses and their shirts and things like that. And they would have all their different sizes would also be digitized. And then the second aspect of it would be the consumer would go on their website and they would kind of put in their height and weight and arm length and neck size or anything like that that they think is beneficial. And the last step would be to like stand in front of your camera on your laptop and physically like scan your body from like side angles, top, like front, back, and side angles, and it would create an avatar that would be used to put on your screen, and anything that you would add to your cart, you could throw onto your avatar. So, say you bought like a shirt and you wanted to see if you were a medium or a small, you'd be able to throw it on the avatar, and based on the preferences that you pick, the avatar would say like, "Oh, this is way too tight. I don't think I'll like it," or "This fits just perfect," or "It might be a little long," and you'd be able to actually see what it would look like on your body before you bought it. And that's basically the extent of that. Do you have any questions or concerns about the product that I would be offering?
I think that's a great idea because something that looks good on me might look not good, or something that looks good on someone else might not look good on me. And like with that, I could be able to physically see myself like wearing it and envision me with it. I don't know how to put it.
Hmm.
Also, it would be good to know, like, because each product I feel like a shirt at one company would fit differently than a shirt at another. And with the avatar saying like, well, this small is a little big, like I would know
Hmm.
like how to order it.
And what do you think would be like my biggest roadblock to getting this to the market? Personally, I think it would be hard to have people use the scanning option, like the photo scan, because it's tough to get people to somewhat expose themselves online. I mean, you wouldn't have to be naked by any stretch of the imagination, but you would definitely have to wear some type of like very tight clothing to get a realistic scan of your body. And do you think that would be something to deter customers away from using it?
I mean, anytime you're asking someone to stand in front of a camera, like some
Hmm.
people love it, some people would feel very uncomfortable, and there's going to be roadblocks with that. But I feel like there's more benefits than there are negative factors. Like having that, like I feel like knowing your true size and like getting it back would be much like make me happier than getting something and then it be too tight and then it's like
Hmm.
wow I'm like bigger. Like trying
Hmm.
on something and like especially if it's too tight, like if it's too big you kind of feel a little better, but then
Hmm.
it's annoying. But
Yeah.
if it was like too tight or something and then you just that never feels good to anyone. So I'd rather just know like ahead of time and even if like I have to stand in front of a camera, I feel like it would still be very beneficial.
Yeah. Um, do you think I would be able to use this service maybe somewhere outside of the clothing industry, or maybe something like shoes or hats or anything like that? Or do you think this idea is kind of limited to the clothing industry?
I feel like it could definitely work for shoes, but like taking pictures of your feet might be might be a
Hmm.
little like kind of weird. But I don't think it's limited. I think it opens up a lot of opportunities for different things, even more than just clothing. Like maybe like a surfboard or something like your height. I don't know. That was
Hmm.
like really a stretch, but I'm just saying like there's definitely other things you can put it
Okay. Do you think clothing companies would be willing to adopt this service? Because right now, it's generally if they send you something and it doesn't fit right, they've already collected profits, and then if you wanted to return it, you would have to pay for the returning costs. And for them, it's kind of it doesn't really matter after that because you've already bought it. They don't really care what you do with it, you know. So, do you think that would deter them from using this product because it doesn't really matter to them, or do you think they would like to use the product because of creating a better shopping experience and kind of building a brand?
I feel as if, I mean, yes, some companies probably wouldn't, like, don't care about their customers, but in order to keep customers coming back, it's definitely good to have something that would want them to keep ordering from them. And with this, like, idea that you have, I feel like would definitely build a brand of like a for the customers kind of feel. And they'd probably make more money in the end if it's successful
Hmm.
and the customer it worked well for the customer, then they would be more likely to order from them again.
Okay. And if this was something that the consumer would have to pay for, like through their website, like say you shop on Amazon and they would offer it to be a part of your account, and you had to pay another monthly fee or something like that, or maybe a one-time offer, what at what price point do you think you'd be willing to use this product coming from someone who doesn't really shop online that often?
Yeah, I don't really shop online that often. If I shopped more, I would probably be willing to pay like a monthly fee or something. But
Hmm.
I mean, I would pay maybe like a $20 startup fee. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm
Like,
like
for instance, if you were buying like a nice dress online and you needed to really make sure that it was going to fit, would you pay like another, I don't know, $10 or $20 based on your
yeah.
experiences just to
Yes,
make
for
sure
sure.
that it would fit perfect?
Like the more pricey the product that I'm buying, like I'm obviously gonna want it to fit better, and like especially if I need it in a time limit, I don't have time to return it and get it back, and so I would be more willing to
Hmm.
spend.
So do you think this product could be more useful for like high dollar purchases versus just like a $20 shirt? Like, do you think it'd be better use on like grade A clothing, like things that are over $100 or more? Do you think it'd be more useful for that, or do you think that the service would be useful in any type of market?
I feel like it would be useful in any type of market because the more I don't really buy very expensive things all the time, so it wouldn't be used as much. But
Mhm.
if I'm literally just buying like a T-shirt online, then I'm not gonna like take the time to make sure it fits. If I was buying like pants or like the things I said, like a dress or something nice, then I would care more if it.
And do you think this is something that every clothing company is going to offer in the next few years, or do you think this is kind of a stretch of the imagination and it won't be anywhere on our computers anytime soon?
I feel like it's definitely something of the future. Like when I was little, I would watch movies and like girls shopping. I think it's like Clueless or something, and she's like swiping through her clothes, like on like this like picture. Like it wasn't anything like this, but it. I was like, that's our future. Like that's so cool, and so I definitely feel like it's not a stretch. I don't think. I think
Okay.
it's good.
Awesome. Thank you, KP.